key thing here is VP have won their games with Timbersaw being able to take the tower and everyone moves into that kind of Timbersaw. If you have a Brood, that forces Timbersaw to think defensively now.
We see a lot of pipes as first item on Brood. Aghanim Scepter later. I mean, a lot of choices after the fact as we see the EMP come out. Split Earth is going to hit onto Nightfall. Fortune's End, though. Going to keep the Nyx Assassin in place. And it looks like another kill going the way of VP, so 2-0 start for them.
He really wants to be against this Oracle plus Wraith King, but this lane is quite difficult for Brood. It's 2 nukes, they can zone you, and then once you get the spiders, Timbersaw's going to be level 6, and he can rotate to that lane with the Timber. So not as free as a lot of other last pick Broods in prior patches.
23 Savage is going to take a little damage here, but time walks it off. And it's not like the old Brood where you get the spiderlings right away. You have to wait till level 6, and the question is, can he survive that long? As, like he talked about, tons of nukes coming out already. I mean, is this a game where Nightfall maxes? I mean, we saw the game. I keep forgetting who was playing it, but they maxed out Wraithfire Blast. Is that something you look to do here, or are you still focused on your farming?
That was the build throughout the major, maxing Wraithfire Blast, because the crit doesn't really help you jungle faster, and it's mostly the skeletons, and you're not getting that many skeleton charges without already using skeleton charges. So it's this weird thing where 4 is kind of enough, and using the 4 points of nuke, or at the very least like 2 or 3 points of nuke, is often enough to get you a lot of kills, and you can show up to things that otherwise you wouldn't be able to.
See the Carl Leshrac mid. So we've seen this hero basically between the off lane and the mid lane for the most part versus the Invoker. I assume it will be the typical Invoker going Quas Wex into the old Spirit Vessel, into Midas, and then eventually going for Cataclysm and all that good stuff.
Yep, plenty of chain lockdown for Cataclysm, so eventually that will make sense. Whatever he builds into, eventually an Ags will come out.
Carl,
be careful.
Yeah, very... Okay. GPK gets basically handed to him there. Goodness. That was interesting.
And a lot of that comes from the fact that Carl is the type of Lesh mid player that he holds his points to see if he needs to use Lightning Storm. And usually he'll opt to go for more points in Edict just to do a crap load of damage the moment he hits level 6. And that gives him the ability to take towers. But in that situation, you can see it resulted in him getting hit a lot more than a traditional Leshrac with Lightning. I think Wraith King is a sort of pushing hero with the skeletons as well. So similar to why Drow Ranger counters the Void. If you don't lose the ult, and also in the late game, the ult, it's on such a low cooldown. Oh, okay, Kuku makes a rotation.
GPK, I see the Spiderling doing so much damage. Faith Edict, not enough. And now the Impale from Zephyr into the Split Earth. So nice turnaround here for T1 as you see Kuku making the transition. And this is where the hero starts to be a bit of trouble. Gonna micro them to a high degree. GPK in the vicinity. Tornado misses, though. Hits a couple of creeps, and that's about it. But a big stun from Zephyr onto 2. And now VP are on the run. Kingslayer just drops of his own accord. Kuku, not mincing words here. Looks like the pressure's going to be applied again, but the Ice Wall is connected here. Slow progress is a Chronosphere on all 3 on the outer edges, but what is the follow-up? Buyback onto the Oracle now. The bash is online, so Save takes a tumble. But in the meantime, taking some damage from the Chakra. We see the Sunstrike coming, but it's not going to connect on anybody as Nightfall has come to play as well. Tornado will hit the Leshrac. Trying to save him with Kuku here on the sideline. DM, you can see taking some right-click damage, but as we see the Radiance now online at the 13.5 minute mark. So Nightfall still with that second life, but...
How is nobody dead? What's happening?
Well, Lion did die. That counts as somebody.
Well, I don't know. It's a line.
Just because he's hideous doesn't mean he's not a person. It all depends on... I mean, again, from a team fight perspective, T1 does have good, in theory, chrono into whatever else that we talked about. But it does take some execution. We have some TPs down here. Cataclysm a little bit early. Not really going to hit anybody. The Chaotic Offering is only going to hit 1 because of the Eul Scepter on the save. And now the Chakram comes out. Nightfall in the midst of things. Oh, a big whirling death into the Timber Chain. Blows up 2 instantly on T1 side. And now they are on the run. DM opening up a can of whoop-ass on this Timber Saw. And that'll continue onto Whitemon. Wraithfire Blast applies and crits him down to the ground. Holy Jesus, DM.
You can delay it a little bit.
Okay. But we do have the Aghanim Scepter Burrow, just like every other game on Nyx Assassin. First item, brown boots.
Okay, now you need the shard.
Yeah, we have a 9-man smoke overall. Nightfall the only one. Of course, he has that second life to work with. Zephyr burrowed up. No vision showing him right now, but double impale. All right, into the Chaotic Offering. They're using most of their resources on the save, who's already only at half HP. And here comes the Cataclysm. Leshrac gets the Yules off to save himself. The Chronosphere is going to clip too, and it's the 2 supports. Very important to kill that Oracle, but both will buy back into the game. Now Karl trying to get out of this, but looks like he's going to fall here, but a nice split Earth comes out. Ends up saving him in the end, and VP have to run, despite Zephyr being completely out of mana. Too big. I mean, again, it's on the supports, but the Oracle is by far the most important person to kill, I think, in these fights.
You don't normally see a Nyx assassin initiating a fight with a long-range 2-man stun like that, but...
Be happy.
Ah, those were the days.
Yeah.
Brown boot stick.
Yeah.
10 centuries. He's living the life on Kingslayer.
Right. So this, we talked about VP being able to take Roche a little bit faster than T1, especially with the alacrity applied to Mr. Wraith King, but with the Nyx Assassin in tow, no Chronosphere though, and no Chaotic Offering. I think this is the biggest reason that VP is feeling very comfortable in going in here. The Chakram is going to be helping out as well, but the Spider is going to be used to scout this out a bit. Roche basically at half HP now. Nightfall can just continue to solo this if he really wants. Of course, there is some capability from T1 side to jump in and try to steal this, as Zephyr is going to be spotted out. There's the dust. Chakram to follow. There's so much damage reduction. Finger of Death still not enough. He's healing so much right now. Wild Burrow, 23 Savage, trying to focus on GPK, but he's going to get out, it looks like. Zephyr is still alive. Chakram, Spike Carapace. Eventually, nope. Okay, DM running out of mana now. They're doing a great job of protecting Zephyr between the heals that he gets inherently with that Burrow and the Shadow Word. I
don't think I've ever seen somebody be doing literally nothing and still be the MVP of the fight. He's doing nothing.
He's inside his little home there.
He's just there. Look at him.
He's literally 10 polygons right there.
He's literally an anthill.
All right, if we're going to get more Nyx Assassin Ags upcoming for TI, let's get a little bit more polygons added to this thing, all right? That thing looks like
we could use a couple more. It looks like a pile of dung.
Yeah, it's quite bad. 23 Savage now going for Roche, though. You can see the spirits coming out. Try to get some vision here. Yeah, they just don't do it fast enough, but this is looking a lot like game, was it 1? Where we had a little bit of a stall here as we see the side cam onto Zephyr. Very important. Impale is going to connect. All right, the Mana Burn doing quite a bit. Nightfall going to get purged off. And he's ready to go back in again. Keep an eye on those polygons on the bottom of your screen as Roshan's getting quite low.
Let's see if
Cuckoo can go in and out of the pit, no problem. It's another aspect that we didn't really talk about. Splitter's going to connect again. This time they're going to go on save. BKB popped by 23 Savage. That is going to be enough to take out the support, and they know he does not have buyback. And now the pressure being applied to the Wraith King. He's going to go down, but that is the first life. I believe he does have Shard. Chronosphere just to ensure that they get this Roshan. Looks like Savage gets the snatch, so the actual Roshan ended up going to VP, but the Chaotic Offering now used in retreat here as VP attempting to get out. Deafening Blast applied there, but Nightfall completely surrounded and will finally be brought down. Didn't even have his Radiance on, by the way. Just trying to dodge that Spike Carapace, but interesting choice there. Either way, T1, very nice play overall. Not the most setup to actually enable it.
It's not reliable is the issue. If they can get Lion on top of somebody where he doesn't just immediately die, then it's going to be a lot of damage.
Onto Nightfall. Zephyr not going to be able to hit the Impale there, but you can see the army of spiders are here. And the Mana Burn, again, not going to really matter too much in terms of the second life for Nightfall because of the Shard, but still pretty annoying that he can't stun anybody.
Zephyr is taking literally 0 damage.
I mean, it's percentage heal versus percentage damage. Which wins in the end? Cataclysm combo, it's a double! It's not even that much damage though now. 23 Savage gets off the Chronosphere. Gonna focus on the Invoker, but there's the false promise that you talked about. Trying to do the damage through that with the Impale to follow. The burrowed Nyx is available still, getting those burrows or the stuns constantly as we have the Chakram. Nice Impale again from Zephyr, saving his teammate, but it looks like the Lesh will finally be bursted down. Chaotic Offering was never used. They actually took out the Warlock immediately as Save getting right-click now with Cuckoo's ult as well, and Kingslayer in the trees. Double kill for Cuckoo. T1.
Oh, there's a gem too. That's a big deal because that's exactly how they're going to scout the Nyx in these fights, so...
I mean, they grew their lead from 2 to 6K there in just this last few minutes.
Yeah,
So
mostly the...
T1 is in control right now. It's, oh man, the Vendetta with 23 Savage applying some right clicks. Time dilation applies. A bash again. DM. Timber chains to safety, but Cuckoo's here as well. So it looks like it's going to be the death of him. He has the flamethrower. Annoying to deal with, but not annoying enough. Does have buyback though, as T1 have taken firm control of this game.
Of course, he's going to be playing for the next Roshan, where he can pick up an Aghanim Scepter.
Oh, yeah, of course.
As a greedy carry player, he will never be caught dead buying that himself.
Yeah, of course. Oh, GPK actually pops his refresher. We see the Cataclysm come online.
The creeps.
The Meteor is there with a Spike Carapace, and yikers.
It's doing no damage because it's always surrounded by creeps or spiders.
Yeah. T1 very close to winning this tournament in this best of 5, game 5. They get that mid racks. Invoker's dead for 45 seconds. So this, I would think, is minimum 2 racks. Of course, the tier 2 still up top in that bottom lane.
Chrono.
3 heroes. Save takes a tumble. A big impale. Only connecting on 1. Maybe not so big after all, but there's the save onto DM. He can go back to base, but now the pressure is onto the Wraith King. That is the first life to come, but 23 Savage wants to go for the support. Doesn't get into the fountain, though. Completely surrounding Wraith King. 3 dead. T1 look to be winning this in great fashion. Fortification is popped. They want to play it safe considering they don't know the buyback situation potentially here. You can see T1 finally not smiling, even though I love it. They're taking this very seriously, Jenkins.
Yeah, for once.
And they're going to take this set of racks in the top, and now they go for throne potentially because that tier 2 is not available for the taking. Xepher just setting up his base here inside the VP base. He's going to spike Carapace, which stuns through that EMP. And they're just going to focus on the buildings, of course, with this Diabolic Edict. 60 seconds of no Wraith King. He's just going to walk right in. Oh, he gets Hexed, though. Has to be careful. Cataclysm to follow, but a nice Yule Scepter. Who used that Yule Scepter, actually? What in the... That's a Wind Waker. Are you serious? I was going to say, we finally get to see it. As this tier 4 tower looked to be falling, you see the Time Walk reverse from 23 Savage, and it looks like T1 are going to be taking this game before Wraith King can even respawn. T1 looking so good. Another Cataclysm, but that one actually did decent damage, but it is over. T1 are your ESL 1 Summer 2021 Grand Champions. Jenkins.